Let's just talk about each of those sort of processes for a second. When would a client use direct award? And what's the benefit?
So a client might use a direct award where they have a pre-existing relationship with a contractor. They might have used them on a job before. They know what they're about. They trust them. They like working with them, and they want to work on a strategic partnership basis. In terms of the benefits of doing that, well, as I mentioned, it eliminates the risk of getting a contractor that you've never worked with before, and all the risks that potentially come with that. But the direct award really facilitates a very collaborative process between the client and the contractor, particularly in the demolition project where, let's be honest, it's quite risky in terms of knocking down a building. So it gives you that assurity about who you're working with and you know what they can do, but also, it increases the chance of delivering the project on time and to budget. Maybe looking at different methodologies that could result in efficiencies on site and therefore cost savings. So I would say in terms of, value for money, along with having the contractor OH&Ps capped through the framework, I think the potential savings you can get through a direct award more than likely will outweigh the savings for a race to the bottom line, particularly on a demolition project where, from experience to date since the framework's gone live, they're not huge value projects. So, I think the potential for cost savings is going to come from that collaboration, that value engineering. Okay.
So on the flip side though, you've got the competitive process where, they might not have worked with one of the contractors and it's a new area for them. Mm-hmm. So how does the sort of the mini or the further competition work?
Yeah, so first off, the first stage in any process, further competition-wise, would be an expression of interest. So Pagabo would manage that process on the client's behalf. We would send out via our platform, My Pagabo, really a snapshot of the project. So, a brief scope of works, the value of the job, method, form of contract, that sort of thing, timetable. That would go out to everyone on the framework lot, so core and reserve contractors. At this stage, everyone gets sight of that. Depending on the contractor's minimum requirement for bidders and the response we get from the expression of interest, we'll then take through the contractors who responded positively through to an ITT, so a tender process. Typically in demolition, from what I've seen so far, that tends to be on a single stage basis. So a project where at the end of the tender, you're going to get your lump sum cost for demolishing that building effectively. Yeah.